What's good, y'all? It's CBH, the creator of Suthun Gridiron Darts, and in today's video, we're going over offensive strategies within the game, which include clustering, spread, mixed, safe zones, edge play, big play, and nickel and diamond. Let's get to it. All right, so first we're going to start off with clustering offense. Clustering is when you target just one number section in the dartboard, so you have to be pretty consistent with your throws to be able to execute this play. Also, when you're doing this, you're actually challenging the consistency of the dart throws of your opponent on defense. Now, one of the advantages of clustering is that on offense, it increases your chances of hitting the treble section, which is obviously harder to defend than hitting the single section for the defense. Also, if you hit treble 20, then that equals 30 yards, which means if the defense is unable to negate that throw, it's a first down. Another advantage to clustering is if you're playing a defender who's playing on veteran or MVP level, because at this level, they must hit the inner single section to negate throws. Hitting the outer single section does not negate throws, only the inner single section at this level. Now, as said, clustering is challenging the consistency of the throws of the defense. Problem is, when you do cluster, it makes it easier for the defense to defend because they're only going to be targeting one area of the dartboard. So all they have to do is hit that area twice to prevent a first down. And if you're playing against a player with pronounced skills, then even if they're playing at MVP rules, then they'll still have a good chance of negating your first down if you only have them focused on one area of the dartboard without hitting trebles. All that being said, clustering is only really effective against poor dart throwers who are playing defense, or you're going against dart throwers at a veteran or MVP level who just aren't quite good enough to consistently hit the inner single section of one dart area. Otherwise, all a clustering strategy really does is makes it easier for a defender to play defense and keep you from gaining first downs, unless you fancy your chances at consistently hitting trebles. Now let's move on to spread offense. Spread offense is when you spread your throws across the dartboard and force the defense to pretty much chase you all across the dartboard so they cannot just zone in on one area. This makes it harder to negate your throws, but it also means it's more difficult for you to hit trebles if you're not consistent like that. Now, if you're going to try to execute a spread offense, there are two ways you can do it. You can aim for numbers that are 15 and above, so that'll be 15 through 20. Or you can aim for numbers that are 10 and above. If you aim for numbers that are 15 and above, then that means that the defense must negate at least two of your throws to prevent you from getting a first down, since you need 30 yards for a first down. Now, the problem with this, as you can see on this display right here, is if you miss 20, 19, or 17, you're going to be hitting 5, 1, 7, 3, or 2. It's tough, if not impossible, to get first downs when you're consistently hitting single-digit numbers. Which is why another strategy you can use while implementing a spread offense is aiming for the numbers 10 through 15, especially if you're aiming for 11, 14, 15, and 10 sections of the dartboard. That's because there's not as big of a yardage drop-off if you're aiming for these sections of the dartboard, especially if you're aiming for 14, 11, 15, or 10, which are known as safe zones. Because if you miss 14, you can hit 11. If you miss 15, you can hit 10, which you only need 3 double-digit numbers in order to get a first down. The issue with this is the defense only has to negate one of those throws in order to prevent you from gaining that first down. So if you trust your skill level, then it's best to aim for numbers 15 and up, because this forces the defense to have to negate 2 of your throws if you are able to hit your intended target while implementing a spread offense. Now, the next offensive strategy is known as a mixed offense. In this approach, you aim twice for one section before aiming for a different section of the dartboard. So here in this example, the offense goes for 20 twice, and then they change their strategy and go for a different number. In this case, is 10. The reason that you implement this particular strategy is you're trying to increase your chances of hitting a treble when you're throwing for one section twice. But at the same time, you don't want it to be too easy on the defense to negate your throw. So you aim for a different number section on your last throw. In this first example of a mixed offense, the offense targeted the safe zone for their final throw. But if you're a player who's not completely confident in your skill level of throwing, then you can target the safe zone twice, like here, in aiming for 14 twice before targeting the second safe zone in 10 and 15. This is still implementing a mixed throw offense, which increases your chances of hitting a treble section, but at the same time, minimizes your chances of hitting a single digit section. Now, having mentioned the safe zone a couple of times, let's focus on a safe zone offense. This is when you specifically target 14 and 11 or 10 and 15. This is a particular strategy for dart throwers who are not confident in their throwing ability, but still want to make good on their offensive drives and continue to keep the ball by making first downs. Focusing on safe zones increases your chances of hitting double-digit numbers, such as 14, 11, 10, and 15. So this is a great strategy to use if you're a rookie or novice thrower. Now, if your dart game's a little bit more advanced than a rookie, then you can try to implement edge play, which is an offensive strategy in which you try to aim for the double section. In aiming for the double section and hitting, then you add an additional 20 yards to whatever section you hit. The problem is, if you miss the dartboard entirely, you set the defense up for a potential turnover on their turn. As we can see here, as the first throw is a missed throw, opening up the turnover for the defense to target later. Now, you may ask if gaining an additional 20 yards tacked on to whatever number you hit is worth the risk of potentially missing and opening up the turnover for the defense. Well, that depends on your ability to hit doubles, because if you force the defense to aim for doubles, then they could potentially miss the board. And if they do so, then they forfeit their next throw. So not only do you get the yardage of that doubles throw, but you get the yardage of whatever throw comes after it. Now, the risk of potentially forfeiting a throw may lead to defenders who are not confident in hitting doubles pretty much laying up, which means they do not truly try to negate the doubles throw, but rather they err to the inside of the board. So they do not miss to the outside, which causes a forfeited throw. So essentially, you gain yardage due to the cautionary throws of a defender. Now, another high-risk, high-reward strategy for advanced dart throwers is big play offense. Big play offense is when you target the bullseye section in an effort to gain 50 or 100 yards in a throw. Now, this also comes with a risk to the offensive player. One of the drawbacks of this strategy is if you completely miss the bullseye section, then you don't know what single section you're going to hit. So in this scenario, you can hit a 1, 8, and then another 1, which is definitely nowhere close to the 30 yards you need to pick up the first down. So if you're not accurate with your throws, you could be forfeiting your chance to get a first down and move the ball. Not only that, but if the defense is able to match one of your throws, then not only do they negate your 50 yards or 100 yards, but it leads directly to a turnover. And if this turnover occurs when the defense is trying to match a 100-yard gain by hitting the inner bullseye, then not only does it force a turnover, but the defense actually picks up a touchdown on the play. This is why it may be more appealing to perfect an edge play strategy. But not only that, but if you're playing at a higher level, veteran or MVP level in the game, then you must call your shot before targeting the bullseye section. And if you're unable to hit your targeted throw, then it counts as a missed throw, opening up a potential turnover throw for the defense. Now, the final offensive strategy we'll go over is a little bit more situational. It prioritizes getting points on the board through field goals rather than trying to maximize those points through touchdowns, though risking getting any points at all. We call it nickel and diamond. As you can see here, the offense was at the 41-yard line with a first down. They aimed for 14, 11, and 14, which are the safe zones. In doing so, they guaranteed that they picked up enough yards to get in good field goal range, which is at the 30-yard line. If you're able to get to the 30-yard line, then you can target the outer single sections of any number to be able to convert a field goal. But as said, the drawback to this strategy is the defense only has to negate one throw in order to prevent the first down. And if the offense is unable to get a first down here, then they're more than likely have to settle for the field goal instead of being able to go for the touchdown. Now, of course, that's if the defense doesn't match all of their throws, leaving them stranded at the 41-yard line. and more likely to punt the ball. Now, the reason a player may play it safe here is because in throwing for the 20, 19, or 17, they may miss and hit 5 or any other assortment of numbers that do not lead to getting to the 30-yard line to guarantee a solid field goal opportunity. As we see in this example here, 5, 1, and 3 are hit, which leaves the offense at the 32-yard line, just outside of solid field goal range within the 30-yard line. Now, of course, scared money don't make money, but there are in-game situations in which nickel and diamond is better than trying to go for the touchdown, such as at the end of a half where you're just trying to get some sort of points because time is running out, or if it's late in the game and you need to tie the game or you have the opportunity to go ahead in the game or tack on points to extend a lead. And the field goal is enough to get the job done. Well, all right. Those are the 7 approaches and offensive strategies when it comes to the game of Suthun Gridiron Darts: clustering, spread, mixed, safe zones, edge play, big play, and nickel and diamond. Hope you found this information useful to implement in your own game, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. And as always, stay dirty.